Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Capital City Baptist Church. Today's devotional is titled, The One Who Never Tires. I'm sure that you all have a story in which you were so tired that sleeping on the hard, cold floor looked just as appealing as sleeping on the most comfortable bed. Many years ago, when I was just a young soldier in the United States Army, I was assigned to do guard duty in my permanent duty station at Fort Bliss, Texas. Now, my guard duty consisted of staying up, ensuring the safety of my sleeping fellow soldiers, and making sure that the barracks were secure. Guard duty started at 8 o'clock in the morning and would go all the way until 8 a.m. the next day, when another hapless chap would relieve me of duty and resume the watch of the barracks. And let me tell you that if one thought that there was even a slight possibility of stealing a little nap here and there, that was completely out of the question. To begin with, sleeping while on guard duty was absolutely forbidden and punishable under a very strict Army code. And although some did actually violate the mandate, sooner or later they would be found out, and the consequences were devastating. And so, despite my exhaustion of having to stay up all night, I would fight tooth and nail to stay awake, taking endless walks in and out, engaging in conversation with some I didn't even necessarily want to have a conversation with, but doing it, uh, anyway, sometimes popping even stimulant pills since I never could get myself to drink coffee and drink also some sodas that had caffeine. Anyway, and there were times that my guard duty would start Saturday and end on Sunday morning. And then during those days, I would have just enough time to take a quick shower, get dressed, and head to church. And then, when I would finally make it back, I would pretty much just fall on my bed and would sleep until the next day, and then start my week again, all over again. It would take me the better part of the week to finally feel myself again, since despite having slept, the hours slept didn't make up for the lost sleep during guard duty. Sleep deprivation is horrible, and it can have significant impact on one's mind, alertness, and cohesion. And rightfully so. When the Lord created us, He did not give us a body that could naturally stay up all night without the need of sleep. And despite what some may say, we all really do need sleep. In fact, we don't just need it, we can't live without it. People who are chronically sleep deprived because of illness or because it is forced on them can eventually lead to insanity or at least some serious brain damage, since our bodies cannot do without sleep. All this to say that as humans, it is physically and mentally impossible to forego sleep without it having serious consequences on us. But, and I say but, there is one who requires no sleep and has in fact promised that He is ever, always watching over us, day and night. Like the people of Israel in the desert that had the Lord's presence in a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, the Lord has promised that He will never, ever leave us. His word tells us in Isaiah 40, verse 28, Do you not know? Have you not heard? The everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, does not become weary or tired. And I'll tell you what, that is some seriously powerful words, dear listener. That is why praying to the Lord is not limited to certain hours of the day. There is no specified hour to where we may have access to the Heavenly Father. Our access is 24/7, every day, every hour, every moment. In our neighborhood, we are blessed to have a wonderful crew who each take shifts to guard the entrance to our complex. Fortunately for them, they are on 8-hour shifts each. So though they may have the graveyard shift, they still only have to contend for 8 hours and then can go home and sleep. Nevertheless, despite this much more doable guard duty, there have been times when I've called late at night and found the guards somewhat drowsy when answering the phone after several rings have gone by. I am sure that though they may attempt to sleep during the day, The body still feels that night was made for sleeping, and so the natural tendency of the body might prevail. But not our God. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't need it. As with all things that the Lord did on earth as examples for us, the Lord did rest on the seventh day of creation. But resting for the Lord didn't mean that he stopped doing what he always has done. He continues to hold the universe in its place. Our little planet still continues to rotate around the sun, and the moon continues to orbit our Earth. And we continue to enjoy the benefits of breathing and living on the only planet that we know of that God made inhabitable, all held together and made possible by the hand of God. Our God, because of all his beyond amazing attributes, is able to see and hear every single last one of us at the same time. He knows how many hairs are on our head, knows the issues we deal with, and knows the joys, triumphs, failures, disappointments in our lives. He knows everything. He does not sleep, and he is ever present in our lives. He is always ready to hear us, does not need to advertise an open door policy since he's always with us. You might recall that when the prophets of Baal were begging their deity to rain fire from heaven, the prophet Elijah taunted them because of their deity's unresponsiveness. "Yell louder," Elijah said. "Maybe he's talking. Maybe he's pursuing something. Or maybe he's on a journey. Or maybe, well, just maybe he's on a journey. Or even better, maybe he's asleep and he needs to be awakened." In other words, Elijah was just reminding them of who the real God is, as opposed to the false ones. Our God is Jehovah Jireh, creator, sustainer, provider, infinite, transcendent, immutable, eternal, omnipotent, omniscient. I think you get the idea. And so here's the $1,000,000 question. $1,000,000,000 question? $1,000,000,000. How does it feel to know and commune with the one true God who loves you and gave his son for you? Do you engage with him? Do you stand in awe knowing he's there? Do you live life in reverence before him? Do you consider your ways before him? Or have you become accustomed to his presence that you forget he's even there? Our God does not get tired. He never sleeps. He never stops watching over us. And he never stops loving us. What is your daily response to the God of the Bible? Are you seeking to love him with your actions and daily walk? Why not make that our pursuit, to love him more each day in all that we do? He is God, the only God, the one true God, who never sleeps, never tires, does not suffer from sleep deprivation because he doesn't need it, and he is ever present, now and forevermore, until he comes. May God bless you. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday if the Lord wills.